In Pakistan, where accessories are hard to buy, if you want to have a male 4-cone with high hardness, you can only use a section of Luo Wengang to make it. Although they don't even have ordinary washing beds, their masters can also make it by hand. The glasses uncle in front of me chose a Luo Wengang with a number from the scrap station because the 4-cone is cut. He is going to process it into a grass planting 4-cone. Considering that the number of the 4-cone is fixed in order to match the size of the twist drill with the same number, Fu first has to measure the data of the cutter tap to ensure that Luo Wengang can still keep one during processing. Only in this way can the processing requirements of the tap be met. The hardness of the building steel bar is very high. In order to prevent the subsequent lathe processing from being too difficult, the surface of the Wengang must be repeatedly heated with one button. The temperature of the entire Luo Wengang is rapidly increased. The annealing of the temperature softening can reduce the hardness. There is no pressure to process such a hardness. After cooling for 3 minutes, it can be fixed on the 3-claw brand. Considering that the suspended Luo Wengang is easy to shake, the knife master will use a small center drill to drill a small hole on the end face axis. The main purpose is to assist with the lathe ejector. When the thread is cut on the surface, it will not affect the turning tool of the hand model. After comparing the length of the thread teeth, the master needs to cut the surface of the threaded steel according to the external data of the thread teeth. Only with such an external data can the size of the number be met. Then the tail is also cut. The tail of the general tap is thinner than the thread teeth. Even if the external data is flush with the head, master will continue to cut. Such a gap can provide space for the generated debris. The drainage groove of the tap will also be blocked by debris. After the master uses the wrong knife to simply remove the hair, he also needs to use fine sandpaper to polish it to improve the smoothness and make the surface look more beautiful. The most important thing about a tap is the thread teeth, so it is also necessary to use the thread knife to process the surface into a thread according to the tooth tool of the numbered tap. The paint applied on the surface can form a contrast with the thread, which can provide a reference for the master's cutting process. However, there are still hairs left in the groove of the rowan, so the rowan with the same tooth tool needs to be used to repair the fault and repeatedly polish the inside of the groove. It will not affect the thread surface. After confirming the specific length of the tap, the groove cutter can be used to completely cut the thread steel. The cut part is equal to the size of the finished tap. When the tap is pressed, the master needs to process the paper groove on the thread surface. The repair shop does not have a washing machine processing equipment, so they can only fix the washing machine on the claw. In this way, the master only needs to operate the tap fixed by the tool holder to allow the washing machine to perform horizontal washing work, and the bed becomes a simple washing machine. The wisdom of the Tanzanian people is indeed infinite. This is far more than the limit of a lathe. At the same time, after the master rotates 90 degrees, the second groove can be processed again until the depth of the 2 grooves is exactly the same. After 10 minutes of washing, although the thread teeth now meet the requirements, the tap needs a wrench to help the thread teeth. The surface of the tap must be cleaned with a knife to make it easier to clamp and fix. After the 4 directions are processed into flat surfaces, the tap's appearance is completely formed. Because the Luo Wengang has been completely annealed before, in order to avoid the thread breaking due to insufficient hardness, the tap must be heated for a second time. The main purpose is to perform a brittle fire process. How can the male thread 4 tap processed by Luo Wengang be used normally? What do you think of the craftsmanship of the Pakistani master?